Hello everyone, welcome to Fiaura. I have just gotten in. This is the last video on the old machine because I've been hunting this thing all goddamn day since class ended at 2 o'clock to get a new case. Because the old case is not going to fit the parts. The parts are too big. So in the meantime, on with the video. The Type 98 Chinese MBT under the Zhang dealer, whose philosophy apparently is invest in your tools, they will give your work longevity. Okay. What do I think of this thing? Is it worth your time to grind for it? Maybe. Do you expect a definite answer? No. It is worth your time if you have a particular play style. And I bring this up because we're now going to go over it versus its competitors. So there's the T90, there's the Ariete. Let's go get the Abrams and the Leo. And you will have to face tier 9s in this thing, and there's currently no tier 9 Chinese MBT. I imagine that is in the works. Now first, let's take a look at this thing's armor. Its actual armor ratings once you factor in its composition and its angle. 494, 455 on the hull, 390 on the turret, 104. The side hull of this thing is razor thin. And I mean it. It is razor thin. The side skirts are kind of nice, but if you shoot below the side skirts, it's going right in. Like, there's no doubt about it. There's no armor upgrade, which is disappointing. But with the side hull being literally 80 millimeters thick, coming out to 104 millimeters with the composite on it, it's pretty freaking thin. I don't have much else to say about it other than that it's really super thin. And the turret is not particularly super thick. This is not really a main battle tank, guys. You know what this is? This is a hybrid. This is a tier 8 version of the Leopard 1. Compared with the T90, which that is not the T90's top ammunition. Let's go look at the T90's top ammo. It has a 125 gun, but it doesn't pack the same punch or penetration as the T90's 125 gun. Nor does it actually, and with the setup I have, it does pack a little bit better damage per minute, but with a T90 setup, you probably still have the damage per minute on the T90 as well. It has a slightly thicker hull amount on the front, but the composition is terrible. The composite of this thing is god-awful at 1.3. And the side armor, again, so freaking thin. 80 mil. Side turret's pretty good, but the side hull is just nope. Turret armor is actually very thin. It's got a thin skin for a tier 8 MBT. Speed-wise, it's beating the T90 flat cold, even if it has a worse camouflage rating than the T90. Slightly better view range. Average gun depression 8 degrees. That's not bad. It's not great. Very accurate on the gun, though. And very quick to aim. I guess the Leopard 2A5. We're going to go look at the Leopard 2A5's actual top-end round. Equal penetration, slightly better damage, so it has slightly better damage per minute as well with the quicker reload. It has more hit points, and I know it has. I can say it has more hit points because I don't have any retrofits for hit points on this thing. Not one. Armor-wise, though, the armor's bad. It is not as fast as the Leopard. It's better camouflage, though, with the same view range. About the same gun depression. It has better gun depression off the rear compared to the Leopard, though. And I'll give better accuracy, quicker aim time. Again, we're going to go look at the actual upgraded ammunition for the Abrams, the M1A1. And we find that the M1A1's ammunition isn't quite as good. So, it has less penetration, but it still has significantly less armor than the Abrams. And much more obvious weak points, which I'll go over in a moment. It is faster to accelerate, but not a higher top speed. Better camouflaged. Not as much view range. Better gun depression. Oddly enough, better gun depression. Snappier turret, same accuracy, quicker aim time. Seeing a theme here. You've got the fastest aim time, the best accuracy, one of the snappiest turrets, and an average gun depression for a tier 8. You're about as fast as an Ariete, which isn't terribly fast, but it's not terribly slow either. Your armor is the weakest. Out of all the tier 8 MBTs, your armor is the weakest. And you have one of the lower hit point pools, but you do have a quicker reload, and the only thing that really beats your penetration is the T90. So what is this thing's playstyle? Well, first off, let's go over the weak points. Looking at the front of this tank, this commander's hatch here, this gunner's hatch here, this section underneath the turret ring area, this driver's port, and there's sections along the lower plate that are all penetratable very easily. Not to mention the side armor is extremely thin. Extremely thin on the side armor. 80 mil comes out to 104 millimeters. The side skirt is only 22 millimeters thick, and the side skirt is plain old steel. Not even a composite on the side skirt. Yeah, this thing is... It takes a sliver of your side. But the hull traverse on this thing feels amazing. I gotta say, the hull traverse does not leave you doubting, and its mobility is surprisingly good. Despite what the statistics would have you believe, it has very, very good resistance capabilities against any terrain. So what do I mean by this is a hybrid? Well, I'm going to show you, because I realized this. It's kind of like playing an XM8 with a quicker aim time. The aim time is only 2.3 seconds with the upgrades I have mounted on it. And it only gets better from there. Estimated aim time for this thing, completely with the crew, with the gunner maxed out, is gonna be, drum roll please, 1.85 seconds. This is the high tier Leopard 1A5. It has just enough frontal armor to be scary, but it's got a lot of hull agility, a very quick aiming, and very fast firing, very punchy gun. The only thing that really beats it as far as the gun is concerned is the T90 and tier 9s. But you have to remember, it's going to consistently have to fight tier 9s, and it's very easy to penetrate. The hull is very weak, and the turret is not as indestructible as we would like it. And as I said, you've got a big hatch up here as a weak point. You've got this hatch over here as a weak point. You can break its APS by shooting this back here. You've got this turret ring section that you can even see the turret ring. You can see that. You've got this driver's hatch area, and you've got a weak point along the lower plate section. Plus the side armor is so thin. I cannot stress that enough. The side armor is so very thin. But let's go take a look at it in some PvE, in some PvP action, shall we? Alright guys, so PvP. Now, I got this literally as soon as the server went up. So people were still installing the game when I got thrown into this match. So you can see it's not a full match. But for not being a full match, we're going to have to perform really admirably well to pull it out.
Affirmative.
Now, the matchmaker is exactly balanced.
Affirmative. Driver, move
Except
out.
for they get a weasel and we get an extra main battle tank. So not quite as balanced as I'd like it. Also, they get a tank destroyer and we don't get one. So myself, the T-80, and the T-72, and the Challenger all decide, meh, we want field. What are you going to do about it? Exactly. So we start driving out here. And this is where things kind of get interesting. Sorry about this, dealing with my professor when I was recording this. Now I wait for them to get up here, and there's that warrior who's like, oh shit, there's a bunch of MBTs here, and this is gonna hurt. And so he's getting slugged while I pull down to get back up and go put one into him. There's another one hits him. I come up behind, auto aim in, and just let him have it. He's done. And I think to myself, this here position's pretty good actually. Since we own that over there to my right, I don't have to worry about getting shot in the side. I can angle my armor and protect my left side at the same time. And that really quick aim time means that LAV 600 didn't even know it was spotted before I shot at him. Really quick aim time. Challenger, don't mind if I do.
Hostile truck, marked.
I really wish I knew what the badges stood for. Have another one, Charlie. How's your day? Yeah, I'm a big gun. I'm a 125.
Hostile, PC.
Oh shit, Weasel. Weasel! Well, you gonna have to talk, Weasel. You ain't gonna like what I have to say to you. Sometimes though, the gun just doesn't shoot straight. Nothing you can do about it. And that lower plate is incredibly fragile for a tier 8 MBT. It's incredibly easy to penetrate my lower plate. I'm always surprised at how easy it is to actually hurt me down there. And the LAV 600 has resorted to firing high explosive at me. So I pay him back with a Sabo. Again, I have with the challengers over there, I'm not really willing to risk a heat round right now. Oh, the snapshot failed me. Failed me, snapshot! Fine. And our arty has officially counter-batteried the enemy artillery, and we have brought down the Challenger that I so graciously put 1200 damage into. So I think about it and I go, I'm gonna go around. There's nothing stopping me. And we can put this thing's speed to a test! Haha! And it turns out, it's reasonably quick! This thing is fast! I'm surprised by this. It's fast. For tier 8 MBTs are a little quick anyway, but this thing is legitimately quick, fast.
Identify target.
Hi, Weasel. How are you? You're probably thinking that you're gonna get away. And with most tier 8 MBTs, you'd be right. But not this one.
Hostile, PC.
I'm sorry, sir. Good game.
We're hit.
I do, however, take a heat round in the ass for it.
Ammo up.
But I intend to repay the LAV 600 in kind. Alright, well... Wait a minute, he's an LAV 600. Heat isn't going to be super effective. I know something that will, though. High explosive! I'm spotted. There he is. He fires at me. I return the favor with HE. And bring him down. That's racist, Ramka. This is the part where I discover that this thing has a 9-second missile reload. That's freaking awesome. Then I remember that the Leopard 2 and the M1A1 both have anti-missile systems. And switch back to Sabo. Yeah, I probably should have stopped and taken a shot there. But with how fast this thing is, I mean, just plow on through. Again, I am absolutely surprised how quick this thing really is. It takes a second to get up to 32, but once it gets up to 32, it just starts moving. And you should expect to do your top speed all the time. Now, I make the mistake of giving them my front, and then I'm going to get hit for it here in a second.
Damn it, we took a hit.
Yeah. The lower plate armor on this thing is very, very thin. Very easy to penetrate. Thankfully, I did not get pinned that time. But I also know that I reload faster than everyone here. My kill. So let's go take a look at them final stats. As I said, I'm going to have to work for this match because I had 4,700 damage and 3 kills. That's almost twice my hit points and damage. And I killed 3 people. That aim time. Just that aim time. Good lord, you're beating everything to the punch. Granted, I did not particularly enjoy getting a heat round up the ass. LAV 600, you dick. But hey, I gave him an HE round back, and I did hit him 3 times, so. Like, gun's really accurate. Gun is incredibly accurate. A paladin beat me on damage, but out of 14 shots, only 2 failed to actually hit their target. And most of them, and the couple that bounced were like right there next to where they needed to hit. But let's go check out the PvP section of it. I mean the PvE section of this. Alright guys, so we have Operation Tsunami, which is kind of one of the easier operations, I gotta say. But it's still on hard. And we have the Type 98. The top tier tank, as promised to all you guys, for some PvE battle. Now, do I draw issue with this one? With the side armor being so thin, I don't know how well this is going to perform in PvE. I'm just going to say that. With the side armor being as thin as it is, I don't know. I honestly don't. I honestly don't know how well this thing is going to be for a PvE machine. Also, remember guys, this is the last video on the old computer. Anything past this point is brand new computer only. So yay, everybody should celebrate. We're going to find out how good this thing is in PvE with that super thin side armor. I really feel you have to kind of force an engagement from the front only. You can't, even slightly angled, and you're going to get penetrated. And I'm about to get probably shot, so I'm going to get down. Yeah, they're shooting at me. Oh, hello. Well, he doesn't exist anymore. Hey, Stingray. Should I call you Steve Irwin Killer or Skank Ray? This thing has a surprisingly high rate of fire for a 125mm gun. I mean a surprisingly high rate. Oh, Nikes. I am very lucky that bounced. That should have pinned me probably. Ah, heat round fail. As I said, surprisingly high rate of fire for a 125. And it still does 125 level damage, so it's really nice to just be slapping people for 600 with sabos. as you might imagine. However, this is probably going to hurt. Or not. Huh. They didn't shoot me till it was too late. And my round totally went astray. As you can see, it's reasonably quick. Part of it, I think, is that it maintains its acceleration past 32 kph. A lot of the main battle tanks, once you hit that 32, start slowing down their acceleration. But you can see this. This thing keeps it up. And just gets up going and just goes. You will hit your max speed. It's not, no doubt in my mind. And with the aim time being so quick, it's really hard to catch this thing unaware. I mean, I'm sitting here driving through here doing 50 right now. Jesus. It really feels like a hybrid between an actual main battle, and a light tank. Oh yeah, and the gun's accuracy is really nice. Ricochet, 59 degrees. I like that new thing, by the way, that tells you, you know, how much you ricocheted by. Oh. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's a knockoff of some other tanks. It feels really like its own tank. And that is something that we were all worried about with the Chinese tanks, was that they would feel like knockoffs. And this, nah, feels like its own vehicle. Dead. Aha. Oh, he was mine! Mine, I say! Damn yo. I mean, it just... I was really skeptical when I got it, and I was looking at its stats, and I saw that side armor, and I just thought, there's no way. But it turns out, it's a really nice pokey tank. Like, you can poke around corners, shoot, and get back before people can really get a beat on you to shoot back. And the front armor is just enough. It's not super thick, it's just enough to really block a couple shells here and there. Granted, the gun is not accurate at all on the move. You have to let it settle. Ow, that HE round kind of hurt. Again, the armor is not like most tier 8s where it's obscenely thick. It's thick enough, which is one of this tank's downfalls, I kind of feel. Well, that didn't help. Oh, shit. Come on, fix the track so I can move. Uh-oh. Thank you, T90. I was waiting on you to speak. I hit the turret. Goodbye. Hi, Charlie. What's up with you today? Quick reload, by the way. I mean, I basically got this thing maxed out for reload because I looked at it and I said, I could go... No, don't go for damage. This thing's got just enough reload capability to really go for that super quick reload. I'm almost out of shells. It's how fast I've been firing. The problem becomes it has like no HP. So as you start taking... I've taken nothing but HE and RAM damage and a single penetrating hit. And as you just start taking hits, it really starts adding up quick on it. It's not like the other MBTs where a hit or two you don't really mind. It doesn't have a hellish amount of hit points. So as you can see, it just starts... It starts kind of breaking. Spotted? No, that's not good. I was spotted. Let's find out by what. Spotted, yeah, spotted over here. Ah. You gonna come out, or am I just gonna keep shooting at you? Because I don't mind taking a 9th kill. Actually, I kind of want to. Okay. It's just got a... It's got that kind of feel I had when I got my first tier 5 and was driving a tier 5 and thought, this is not a bad tank. Oh yeah, incredible rate of fire. The T90's got to be upset. Oh, and the missiles. Missiles only take 9 seconds to load. 9-second missile. That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. We may be fighting a bit longer. Let's reload everything. Oh god, that T90 just ate a brick. Oh, hello. That actually can hurt. Yeah, like I said, the front armor is just thick enough. It's not like most of the MBTs at this tier where it's super ultra thick. It's thick enough. So you get penetrated. And there's not a lot you can really do about it. There's a lot of frontal weak points on this one. A lot of frontal weak points. Not that I'm really going to argue with having frontal weak points on an MBT any day of the week. You want to give them frontal weak points, you go right ahead, Obsidian. I'm not gonna be mad at all. It actually, I'm gonna be directly honest. This is the first tier 8 I have driven that feels balanced. It has just enough armor. It has just enough frontal weak spots. It has plenty of firepower. And it's, to make up for the lower armor, it is plenty freaking mobile. I can't fault this one. I don't necessarily recommend it because the playstyle is definitely not for everyone. As you see in this footage and in the PvP footage, the playstyle is not for everyone. You got to be quick in, quick out. Poke your enemy, get a quick shot in or two, and then get out. Over and over again. I can't sit here like this and slug it out. I'll lose. Again, surprisingly large amount of firepower in this one. Let's go up north and see if there's anything left to kill. I got 13 kills so far. Wow, that ain't bad. But it's got a surprising... It's a surprising flavor in my mouth. It's the first MBT at tier 8 I have seen that is fairly balanced and appears to be working exactly as intended. And I'm okay with that. It's not the best. It's most certainly not the worst. It's probably going to receive the least amount of buffs and nerfs. So what you have right now is probably what you're going to stick with forever. So if you want something that's going to be pretty consistent about what it does and what it is, this is it. The T90 might have alpha and penetration, by the way, but by God, if I got DPM in this thing, good Lord. It just pumps out those shells. And 9-second reload on missiles, I can't argue. That's phenomenal. If you have to switch to missiles, you could pump out 2 or 3 missiles before somebody's APS reactivated after the first one. And the aim time is really quick. Like, you will almost always get your shot off first because of how quick you're aiming. And the aim circle is always tiny, as you guys just saw in both sets of footage. I came in second place, didn't do the most damage. T90 got me on that, but I got the kills. I got all the kills. I'm so happy with all the kills. It does cost a bit to run. I'm not sure what the extra deduction is, but okay. It does cost a bit to run, but man, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So, if you like the video, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more stuff by Fiaura, subscribe. If you like to support the channel, you can do so through Patreon or click on the ad at the end of the video. Lastly, here's the previous Armored Warfare video for you guys right there. I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Bye-bye. The other ones. It was that simple. Now let's keep moving, Mr. Type 59. I see a bulldog. I might have missed that one. That's because Mr. Type 59 here has a brain and some aggression. You are the shield. Damn it. You are the shield for your allies. If you do not have the undivided attention of the enemy in front of you, you are not doing it correctly. As you can clearly see, I have his undivided attention. And he is done for. You rinse and repeat with all enemy tanks who you are shooting at. Half the time, you don't even aim. You just drive. You own their faces. You own their children's faces. If they get your side, you will pay for it. If they have your front,